Kia ora, here I am again with another big LEGO set. This is the Piggy Pirate Ship set from the Angry Birds movie line that released in 2016. This theme gave us castles and pirates and play vehicles. It's crazy. 620 pieces here, 4 exclusive minifigures, but it's kind of a weird grey area, we'll get into that. The set released in 2016 for, I believe, 120 NZD. I got mine sealed a couple years ago for, I think, $100, which I thought was really good because this was the one set from the theme that I just never really saw being sold online at the secondhand market. It's valued around $130 in the aftermarket and in sealed condition, so that's not that much of an increase actually, which is really good. That's what we want in these LEGO themes. The set overview here is a really cool looking pirate ship, which is how the piggies travel from their island to the Birds Island at the beginning of the movie. I really like the design translation that this has here, where I can clearly see the connections that were made from concept and model, and some of the creative liberties that have also been translated to something that's a bit more buildable and functionable. This type of build method is actually something that I have criticized LEGO on missing over some of the past few years with their most popular licensed themes. So it's interesting to see a theme like Angry Birds, which is less popular than Marvel, receive arguably more attention to detail, especially in something like this. Enough chit chat, let's just take a look at the ship here. It is a very fun design that really does hone in on the exaggerated features of animation. It's one of the best depictions of a cartoon style that's been translated into LEGO, like most of the sets from this theme. Again, I really love cartoons being adapted into LEGO sets. They are always pleasing to the eye, and more importantly, they're pleasing to build. We've got those really nice printed wood tiles with the nails and marks throughout them. The ship is actually the exact same design on the other side as well, with the same boards and everything, placement of things as well. Here we have these little doors which are usually used as windows, but here within the Angry Birds theme, I think they're supposed to be representing walkways, just kind of scaled down. In the movie at least, it's a door, but here it's just a small little cubby. On the inside, we have a little apple. The other side actually uses the exact same technique, but here we have a stick of dynamite instead of the apple. It's inside this section that we can see 2 glass windows, which shows us the gear system for how the wheels work. We can't actually access this area otherwise, so this is the best view that we have here. The ship is built on wheels, and the gear system here makes the wheels on the side turn, and the oars can move around as well. It's a fun little gimmick, it's a cause and effect feature, and they always work for me. The bow of the ship here has the classic LEGO boulder that's dangling and acting as an anchor, which is accurate to the movie, because they dropped that thing onto Red's house, which took him 5 years to build. The rear of the ship has this crane with a net, and it's holding all of the eggs currently, and this section is also accurate to the movie's design. Again, it's all very nice to see and praise. It's the overall shaping of this thing that sold me on the design, even without getting into the great minifigures that are included here. The net is very simple. It's the netting that's used in a lot of LEGO sets, and the eggs are just simply sitting inside here once these hand pieces have closed up. It's not very secure, but it is secure enough to at least stay in place like this. At the top of the crane we have a standing post for the piggies. This is where the creative liberties come into play. The platforming section in the movie model is a lot more in-depth than it appears here. This is incredibly bare-boned compared to what we see in the movie, and I wish we could have seen a bit more of that kind of a design. My criticism of the Angry Birds line in general is the sense that it misses the game's iconography besides maybe the castle and the Pig City teardown set. It's based on the movie after all, so we could easily say that that's the reason for this, but the movie does feature a ship with a tall, shoddy looking structure, so it would have been nice to have seen that replicated here for the model. As it is, it's fine, and I really love the lattice wall piece here, used in so many sets that I'm just a sucker for that design anyway, so it's totally fine. This area also shows us the first of a few of our flags. We have a printed image of a pig on this one. The interior of the ship is also interesting. It's not as detailed as I would have liked it to have been. We are dealing with a pretty small space here though. There's a small box here with some assorted items on the inside, swords, bananas, ice cream, and some stud ammo for a crossbow accessory that actually wasn't included in my set, funnily enough. This is the first ever time a LEGO set has missing pieces from sealed bags. A rarity, but it happens to some people. We also have this little recipe here on how to cook eggs. The birds aren't going to enjoy that one bit. We actually have the ability to lift up this floorboard here to reveal a hidden crown, because one of the piggies isn't exactly who he seems. Now, I need to break some of this down a little to quickly film the kitchen area, which is otherwise a little tricky to access if I'm trying to film a little video here. It's very simple in here anyway. We've got a sink and a stove with a pan that's heating to cook some eggs. Above that, we've got a board with a string, and that string is connected to the winch that's holding onto the boulder. You can spin the crank on the side here to lower and raise that anchor. It's nice and easy, and inside the boulder is nothing. You could store the eggs here though if you really wanted to. And I want to point out this really cool shield piece which is exclusive to this set. We used this in our Kingdom Hearts custom showcase video for Goofy. The sails are the final thing to look at here. I always love materials like this used in LEGO sets, though it does mean that you do need to take a little bit of extra care of the set because items like this can wear and tear over the years. We have 4 different sizes, each with a stitching pattern and the LEGO logo that's been branded on them. They connect via some Technic pegs into those sockets and it really does sell the design. Finally, we have a little island launcher here. The Angry Birds line did feature various different ways to launch the birds into their sets, and they're all built around the exact same concept of a slingshot, but thankfully they are different builds each time, so it was never repetitive to build all of these things. There's nothing really to say about this one besides the fact that I do like that overall island design because it feels like it's really in line with the game's identity here. I like the palm tree and the rocks and the fact that it's actually built on water. Red here can be placed on the inside of the bucket, and you can either launch it yourself or use the birds like as seen in the movie. The birds respond pretty well actually, but if we go by what the instructions are telling us, ideally you launch them directly at the boat and it causes the pigs to fall. It's a pretty tough task to do actually. It also specifically has red hitting the sails though. Of course you could always use bomb though if you want to. Bigger guy, bigger results. And these are our minifigures. This is Red, who was released in 5 of the 6 sets in total, so I almost have all of the Red figures. The Angry Birds figures are very unique in their parts usage. The birds specifically are all just one molded piece with hands and feet that are interactive with LEGO bricks that cannot be removed from the overall body mold. Red here has an exclusive expression of just an annoyance or a neutral feeling. It depends on how you look at it. All of the Reds were exclusive to their sets. A quick comparison here for some of the other expressions that I have in my collection. There's not too much of an important difference between them actually in my eyes. This is Bomb, who is definitely the most interesting figure inclusion here in the set. He has a massive piece with even some rubber that's applied to the figure's hairpiece. The rubberized piece also acts as his fuse. He is an exclusive figure to only the set, so you did need to go out of your way if you wanted to get all 3 of the main trio. Again, like Red, he uses hands and feet that are interactive with LEGO bricks. You can see here that unlike Red, who takes up 2 studs, Bomb here actually takes up 3 studs total. Leonard, another exclusive apparently, but I'm here to correct this actually. First though, Leonard and the pigs all use the exact same body molds as one another, but the printing on them is unique each time. Leonard is the main antagonist of the movie, played by Bill Hader, so it's great to have him in extra sets, and the molding for the pigs, unlike the Angry Birds, actually do use LEGO arms and hands, which can still easily be removed from the body. Leonard also appeared in the Piggy Castle set, that video is up on the channel by the way, in which he included a crown piece and a really great cloth piece for some royal robes, but you can see here, it's the exact same figure though. The only real difference being the cape, because we do end up getting a crown in this set anyway. This here is our pirate pig. Each of the sets featured a gimmicky pig with something that was unique to them, so that collecting them meant that you weren't always going to have some doubles. Again, it's the same mold as Leonard here, but the prints are different, and that's enough to satisfy me, really. This pig has some of the more obvious differences compared to some of the other ones that we've looked at on this channel. For one thing, a hook for a hand is brand new for these guys, and a great looking pirate hat which just sits on top of his head nice and easily. The instructions for the set come in one of those bigger manuals. There's no theming on the inside here that I can tell, but it's nice to go through a manual that isn't just plain on the inside like we do have today. We also have an image here of the set all built up at the back, and then we have this image here that shows the instructions on launching the Angry Birds. We've got a page here that's dedicated to the website, which is definitely still up and running, no need to check, and on the other side here, we've got some art print and some posters, and these all look really cool. I don't remember seeing these on the castle set though, so I wonder why they were only printed on some of the sets. Our inventory list, the winning guy on the back, and that is our set. This is a good one. The cartoony design here really does stand out compared to other sets that are similar pirate styled, and the bulky parts used here are a bonus for really bringing home that game's identity. My issue with the theme as a whole comes from the fact that they're based on the movie, not necessarily the game's personality. I wish all of the sets had some destruction play features that mimicked the games, but again, this being based on a different interpretation is probably why these kind of lean more to just being regular playsets. Still, I do really like it. Most of the Angry Birds sets are standouts from a severely underrated LEGO theme. If you enjoyed this look at a LEGO Angry Birds set, liking this video and subscribing to the channel does help to support us in making more videos like this one. Ka kite anō, I hope to see you in the next video.